if we I just wanted to show you the prompts, right? So instead of giving some values, we can select the option of prompt. I just added here, and I will also add sales revenue here. We will try to run the query. Otherwise, yeah, we'll try to run the query. Now, what it will ask is, it will not directly show us the report. Instead, it will ask us which year you want to see the report data for. If I select 2014 and say OK, the report will be loaded and we can see the data for 2014. If you see, this is the sales revenue for the year 2014. So whenever, if you refresh the report now also, it will ask us to give the values for, whenever we refresh the report, it will prompt us to give the values for year because we selected the option as prompt. Instead of giving some static value, we have put this as a dynamic. Let me widen my screen. So yesterday I was not able to show you this because of the server. So today I have covered like how we can put the option for prompt. Let me go back to edit again, and I will select state also in the result object. And if we want to remove this year filter, just click on this. And then if you see here, if you want to delete one filter, you can select this. If we have multiple filters and if you want to delete all filter, we can select remove all. Now here we can say remove, and we can put the state as a query prompt here. And we will put option as a prompt so that it gives a user flexibility to select some data. We will select some Florida and see if we have data for that area. Yeah. So if we drag state here, Florida. So in this way, we can use the report filter, query filter or document filter. So that is about document filter. So for all of us data, the data is limited to Florida. So whatever we include, the data is limited to only Florida state. So that is about document filter. After coming to report also, we have some filters available. So those filters are called as report filter. It is specific to the report or tabs. If you see here, if you go to analysis, filter, add filter. If you say add filter, if you have multiple blocks here, it will give us all the list of blocks here. Report one, this is like a structure of the report. If as we only have one table, it is showing this vertical table block one. So I will rename this as, otherwise, yeah, today this we will take off. We will only put state and sales revenue in one table, and here and sales revenue for other table. And we only have Florida here. We will give some more values. So to give some more values, we can refresh the report again, and we can select this many states. So this table is a block one. This table is a block two. So, but we will be confused with the name of block. So we can rename the block based on their functionality. Here, state-wise sales revenue, right? So format table, here it is block one is there. So instead of block one, we will put what is this table is. State-wise sales revenue. This is the name of the table, and these are the properties of the table. Like, do we want to show row with all empty measure values? Show table headers, table footers. Do you want to hide for any condition, hide when empty, hide always? So based on our requirement, we can change these properties. There are also some formatting options like borders, appearance, if we want to put any background or color, and layout also we can put like this table should start from it. Here it is mentioned as point 32 centimeters. So based on our requirement, we can change it. If I put 1, if I apply, it will move a little bit to the, so that the table should be 1 centimeter left of report. And also top of report will keep 1 centimeter. So from the top, it should be down 1 centimeter, and from the left also, it should be 1 centimeter. If I apply, it is going up. So if you want to change it to 2 centimeters, apply, it is coming down. Repeat header on every page. So it is recommended to put this option for the big tables, because if the table is continuing in the next page also, here this is only having a small amount of data. That's why it is only small. But if in our real-time reports, it is we will be having some pages of data, page 1 of 1. There will be some around 40 to 50 pages also in some cases. So what we have to put is repeat header on every page. If we click on this, the next page data also will have this header state sales revenue. Otherwise, if you don't have this option, we will get only values and will not get this header. So I'm just showing this here, and I put state-wise sales revenue. Okay. This is year-wise sales revenue. Format table. Year-wise sales revenue. For now, we'll keep these places as it is. And I wanted to show you the filter, report level filter. So analysis, click on filter, add filter. Now it will show us 2 blocks, state-wise sales revenue and year-wise sales revenue. So it will ask on which table you want to put this filter. So first we'll go with the state-wise sales revenue, add filter. So it is already state-wise is selected. So we will put year and we will put 2014. And for this, we will not keep anything, and we will see like how it is behaving. So it is changed. And if I keep it here, here, it is only 2014 data is getting displayed. But here 2014 to 2019 years are there. But in this block, we have applied report level filter, which is saying year should be 2014. So we are getting only this much of amount, this much of only this year data. So it is about the report filter. So these are the types of filters. We have covered query filters, and we have already also covered report level filters. So that is the thing that we have missed yesterday. Sales revenue, store name, where margin is less than 1 lakh. Okay, let's see. We will try to create a. Okay, now we will try to save this report as filters. Save as. So if we save in our My Documents, it will be locally stored. If we want to save on the repository, you can select here access client. As we know the system name, we can select here or here. So I have selected their access client. So here it is showing like same as in our launchpad. It will show the my favorites or public folders. Where do you want to save? Here we can put filters. Demo. We have covered this filters demo and we have saved it. That is about filters demo we have done. And now we will try to create one more report. Store name, and we will use some sales revenue in the result object. Also margin, And we will try to put here less than $1 lakh. I don't know whether we have data for that condition or not. Margin less than 1 lakh. So we will try to run the query. I think it is not discontinued. I think we are not getting data for this. I mean, these are the old universes, right? So maybe we are not having that data. So what we do is we will remove this filter here and we'll see what is the margin applied here. Okay. So we will try to put the filter here. If you can create a filter, the analysis and filter, or if you specifically want to create a filter on particular column, you can just click on the filter column and right click and say filter, add filter. Both are same. Margin, I think it is not providing list of values. That is why it's not taking. We'll see if it works or not. Yeah, it's not working. Something is discontinued because these universes are created so much before. So, okay, we will not have this. Control Z. We can remove this filter. Okay. If you want to select some particular store name of E-Fashion Chicago 33rd or Dallas, there also we can filter, add filter. See here, we are getting this list of values because they have provided from the universe level. But for our margin, I think they are not being maintained. That's why we are not getting. It's okay. If we know the concept, it's okay. So I selected only 2 store names and we got these 2 store names. This is about report level filters. So now we are done with the filters types and all. So now we will see how we format the document. In this module, we will learn about these types like block types, what are all the block types available, what are the panels available, how we can add tables to reports, how we can format tables and cells, setting up page layout for tables, adding page header and footer and adding images, working with formulae and functions, working with sections, breaks, crosstab, rules, sorting, enhanced copy paste, show or hide block. So these are the types of block types we have. It supports 2 types of block. One is a table and the other is a chart. These charts we will discuss in the next module. Interactive analysis generates a new report with a table block and standard formatting. Whenever we create some report, whenever we pull some objects in the query panel, by default, it will show us in the form of table. Those table contents can be edited, formatted, or can be turned into a different table type or block type like chart. The different table templates which can be used to display information on Web Intelligence are, we have vertical tables, we have horizontal tables, we have cross tabs, and we also have forms. This is the vertical table look. So it is like a normal table. It is showing in a columnar based, row wise data. So that is a vertical tables display the header cells at the top of the table and the corresponding data in columns. Though the header is shown in the top of the table and the data is in the columns. By default, the header cell displays the names of the dimensions. If you see, this is the header cell which is which has a blue background. So this is the header cell. By default, what it will show us is this object name. Here, California, Colorado, this is coming from the object state. And this key figure, this number are sales revenue. This is a margin. So by default, header cells displays the names of the dimensions, details, and measures included in the table. The body cell displays the corresponding values. This is the body and this is the header. Horizontal tables means here vertical table means The headers are represented at the top of the table, whereas in the horizontal table, the header cells at the left of the table and the corresponding data in rows. Whereas we have the data in columns, here the data is in the rows. So that is called a horizontal table. By default, the header cells display the name of the dimensions, details, and measures included in the table. The body cell display the corresponding value. This table format is useful for reports with several measures, such as financial reports and balance sheets. This is useful when we have a list of measures, key figures. The numbers are, if you have so many, then at that time this state, and if you are displaying around 10 measures for the state, so instead of showing it in a vertical table, it is good to show in a horizontal, because the state is like a California, Colorado, it will be like this, and sales revenue, margin, quantity, profit, discount, revenue, we can put this here, and it will be a good visualization. So this table format is useful for reports with several measures. When we have more measures to display, then it is useful. For example, financial reports and balance sheets. The financial reports and balance sheets, they contain so many key figures. So in those scenarios, horizontal tables are suitable. Cross tab. Cross tab displays values for dimension across the top axis and the left and on the left axis. It is like a combination of horizontal and vertical table. If you see here, state is represented in rows, and in rows we will put states, in columns we will put year, and in body we will put sales revenue. Then it will look as a cross tab. The body displays the value of measure that correspond to the cross section. It is for single dimension. We also have a cross tab for multiple dimension. If you see here, it is only showing year wise, so single dimension. If you also include quarter in the columns, then this is year, this is quarter, this is state, and inside there is a data getting displayed. So it is a multi-dimension cross tab. This cross tab displays 3 dimension, 2 as columns. So these are the columns. So year and quarter as column headers, and 1 as row header, that is a state. The values for the sales revenue measures are values each state by quarter for each line. So it is like a cross tab. So we have vertical tables, horizontal tables, cross tabs, which are single dimension and multiple dimension. We also have forms. These forms are mostly like a address kind of thing. Forms are useful in your report to display detailed information per customer, product, or partner. So it is like it will not display any key figures or any measures. Instead, it will display more details about some customer or their address or product. It is like a visiting card kind of thing, we can say, which will mention the name, the employee ID, the phone number, address. It is like some visiting card or ID card, we can say. So that kind of representation is possible using forms. See here, forms are also useful for formatting address labels for envelopes. So these are the panels that we use to create reports. This is the, if you click on design, then only we can edit. So to editing mode is design mode. This is the left pane. It contains all these options. One is for document summary. One is for report map. Third is input control if there are any applied. Fourth is web service publisher. This is the available objects. And the sixth last one is document structures and filters. And here we can see the document options. This is the status bar, like when it got refreshed and what is the page number and all. This is called status bar. This is the reporting menu, like report element, format, data access, analysis, page setup. These all options, we call it as a reporting menu. How we add tables to reports. One or multiple tables can be inserted on a report by dragging one of the following tables onto a blank area of the report. Select the required objects and drag and drop on reports workspace area to add new vertical table. So if you want to add some 3 or 4 objects in the report, if you select and drop in this report space, table will be displayed. To add another object, so once we create these 3 year, quarter, sales revenue, we have selected and kept in the report and a table got formed. So if you want to add any other like state, we can just drag it here and drop. When we can see this blue symbol, we have to drop, then we can see that a state is getting included in the report. Duplicating tables. We can duplicate tables. Multiple tables can be included on a single report instead of creating each table from scratch. So if we want to have year, quarter sales revenue and year, state sales revenue, so instead of doing it from the scratch, what we can do is we can copy this and we can paste. Then we can change these objects, assigned objects. Instead of quarter, we can keep the state. Adding a different template to existing table. By default, the data gets appeared as a form of table, but we can turn that vertical table into other layouts like vertical table or horizontal table. We can turn into, we can just need to right click on the table and we can see all these options. Under that, one of the option is turn into. So turn the table into horizontal table or cross table or column chart, line chart, pie chart, or more transformations available. So that is possible to change a template to different from an existing template. Adding or removing tables, rows or columns. Different ways to adding rows or columns to table using drag and drop. We can just add by using drag and drop the object. Or insert row or column toolbar. We have here insert row above, insert row below, insert column on the left, column on the right. We can add more rows and columns to enable, to use it for some other logical requirement. We can add moving rows or columns. If we want to move this year, if you see here, year, quarter, state, store name, sales revenue is there. If we want to swap this year with state and we want to see state first and year in the third position, what we can do is, or year in the second position, what we can do is we can just drag the state object from here and we can put before year, so that state will be appeared before year, quarter, store name, sales revenue. So that moving is possible, and here it is a swapping. Drag the selected columns or row onto the column or row with it, it has to be specified. If we want to swap, we can just click on this state and we will put here, so that instead of quarter, here state will get displayed like this. Clearing cell menu. We can clear all our clear format. If we apply any format, we can clear it. Clear conditional format. Conditional format is like applying alerts. So if we have something like, if profit is less than 15,000, put that cell with the right, with a red background. We can apply that using conditional formatting. And if you want to clear that, we can clear conditional formatting. There are different ways to remove the table. We can just right click on the table and click on delete. Or we can just drag and drop the table from report space to left side available objects pane. Or we can select the table and click on delete key from the keyboard. So it will also work to delete the table. Formatting tables and table cells. Format tables and cells on tables so that the look and feel of documents reports corporate standard. So based on our corporate standards, if they want to see the report in blue or something like, they will be having some standard formats for all other for our company report. So if they will be giving us what is the color coding that they required, based on that we can put the font size and font style and the color coding, everything using the formatting table option. Setting properties for table headers and footers. We can also set the properties like how to show or hide headers or footers. Repeat the headers or footers on every report page. Everything is possible. Setting page layout for tables. As I told you, like repeat table headers or footers on report pages. If you click on that, it will get it will repeat. Otherwise, we will not see the table headers. So those kind of options are there. And also we can avoid duplicate row aggregation using the properties that I can tell you later. This is just an example, like if there is a company and they want to have this header, this kind of thing, we have to insert the logo. We will put that business object symbol, like based on their requirement, we will keep them, and we will put some header as a report name. Under footer, we can put like page 1 of 1, or if we have around 50 pages of document, it will show us 2 of 50, 3 of 50, like that. For every page in the footer, the page number will be displayed. So based on our requirement, we can add images. Here it is there, appearance, and we can add image from the URL or image from file. We can browse and keep some logos and all. Working with formulae and functions, we can also create some formulas and create new fields. So we know that whatever we are using in our reporting purpose, the objects all are coming from the database. I mean data source. In our case, it is a universe. But in some situations, everything might not be available from the universe, and we might need some formulas, and we need to create some new objects. In those scenarios, we will create variables in our business objects. This is to create a new variable. We have to click on this, and we have to give the name of the variable and give the formula like margin by quantity sold. It is margin per unit. We can create a new variable with the name margin per unit with the formula margin by quantity sold. Our functions also we can use, like sum of sales, revenue, and all. We can use this formula editor, and we can create some functions in the formulas. That is about adding formula. Adding variable is like we will keep it as a margin per unit. We will name it as a something so that it can be accessible in our reporting purpose in other tables. But if we just create a formula, it is not reusable. Like if we insert it here, and I'll show you like what is that. This is the process for creating a variable. Variable is nothing but a named formula. We are giving some name to this formula, as margin by quantity sold should be margin per unit. It can be reused throughout the document. So we can use this for all the tabs of the report. We can use it. Variables can be used to build tables and charts. We can also use them to create charts. These variables cannot be used outside the document. So if we are creating this report in this variable in report 1, if we save that as a report 1, that is applicable, that is useful for only for that particular report. It is like a local variable. We cannot use the same in other report. If we require, we have to create there also. But if something is created in the universe level, that is applicable for all the reports using that universe. But if you are creating something in the report level, that is specific to that report only. Variable can be created by using a variable editor or by naming an existing formula. We'll write some formula here, and we'll name it, and we will say whether it is a dimension or measure. We can use all these functions to write the formulas. These operators also we can use, and we will validate by clicking on this right symbol. And if it is correct, it will say that it has been validated and correct. Then we can use it in our reporting. These are the types of functions available. If you see here in our variable panel, we can see functions. These are the types of functions like aggregate. Under aggregate, we can see functions like sum, max, minimum, average. So those are aggregate functions. Character functions, like to deal with some strings. If you want to split some first few characters of some dimension, or in those situations, the functions which deal with the strings are character functions, like substring, length, position. There will be so many character functions available. Likewise, date and time, document. Document means when we refresh the report, last refresh date is a function. So that kind of document name is a function. So we have those kind of functions available under document. Date and time means to date, means to convert one string to date and all. We have those available functions in our, these are the functions which are provided by business objects. We can use for our creation of variables or formulas. To use a function, you need to know its name, how many input value it requires, which data types, type of data, the function written as output. For example, sum function, what it do is it will sum up total sales revenue. If we put like sum of sales revenue, it will give us a total of sales revenue in the defined context. So if our report has a product and sales revenue, and if we put sum of sales revenue in the that table bottom in the footer or table footer, then it will display total sales revenue for the all the products. So these are some functions. Like all means it will come under all. Aggregate means sum or average. Character functions which will manipulate character strings. Date and time, it returns date or time related output. Document returns data about a document, like who has refreshed or when it is last refreshed, what is the document name. Those kind of things can be achieved using document functions. Data provider, it returns data about a document's data provider, like universe name, what we are using, those kind of details. Logical, it is like it returns true or false. Logical is like a boolean, it is 1 or 0. If the condition is matching, it is true, otherwise it is false, 1 or 0. Numeric, it returns numeric data. Miscellaneous functions that do not fit into the above categories. So these are the types of function categories that are available in business objects. So we have applied this filter. We will remove this filter to have a more data, and we will save as with other name so that we will have a 2 versions of report. So this is one table. By default, we are seeing this as a vertical table. So if you want to right click, you have to wait for this symbol, this cross symbol. So whenever this cross symbol appears, then right click, then you can see all these options available. So as it is a vertical table, we will try to see and convert into horizontal table. So here it got changed. So if you have multiple key figures or multiple measures, then that is recommended. But in this case, it is not suitable. So that is about horizontal table. Or we can turn this into a cross tab. Turn into cross table. We call it as a cross tab, but it is not looking proper. So what we have to do is right click again and assign data. Here we will put what should be the vertical axis and what should be the, okay, we only have one object. We will add one more dimension. We only have store name here. So we will have a state also. Now assign data. Horizontal axis. For horizontal, we will put state. For vertical, we will put store name. The body is for measures. So it seems like the data is being discontinued for some of the reason, but the appearance will be like this. So it is one of the way of showing. And now we will just undo Control Z. What we can do is just we can click on delete and it will get deleted. So these are the types of tables and how we can turn one table into other. Sales revenue. Okay, now we will turn this into We don't need to turn. We will see like how we can copy paste. Here it is state, store name, sales revenue. And in other table, we want state, store name, and margin. So, but for that, we have to add these three objects in the report. But instead of that, what we can do is copy, paste. So the same table got displayed. You can change it here, or you can, here also you can use this assign data. So instead of sales revenue, what you can keep is margin. The state store name, we are anyway we need it. So here we can say change that. So the table here it is for margin. State store name sales revenue, state store name margin. So we can copy paste like this. Okay, this is like how we can copy paste. And if you want to have store name in front, you just need to click on this column. And we can see this blue thing, blue rectangle, then we can drop it. So it will appear before the state. So that is like how we can move the columns from left to right and all. And we will see what are all the properties available. Layout, we can put like avoid page break, start a new page, repeat header on every page. Appearance, we can keep border, we can keep some plain border. We will apply to see like how it looks. So we can see the border now. We can give the name. Avoid duplicate row aggregation means sometimes the duplicate rows get segregated, means the sum will be doubled or sum. So we can check this option to avoid duplicate row aggregation. Show table headers. If I uncheck this and apply, see it is not showing say state, say store name and sales revenue. It is not showing the table headers. If I click on this and apply again, it will show. And if you want to format this header, what we can do is appearance, background, we can put some color. It's not. Okay. So if you see, if you want to, so here it is mentioned as alternate color. We can keep that frequency as, so if it is 0, it is nothing appearing. If we keep that frequency as, instead of, if we keep 1, so it is for every row, the data, the background gets changed. And if we put this frequency alternate means how many alternate rows we want. If we keep 3 for 3, it will appear like first it will appear purple, after 3 rows it will appear purple again, like that. So this kind of formatting is possible. We can see the number of other options also later. What else we have? These are several types of blocks and how we can play around with the table and report layer, like with the properties. We can, as we have seen here, I think for header, what we can do is actually we will not put this format table appearance. I will keep the color as normal, none. Background is okay, white. But what we want to highlight is mostly we will do the color difference for the header. So just click on this cell and put the control button and click on these 3 cells and right click. And here you can format cell. There you can put border or appearance. Here you can fill some color. Yeah, we will put this color and we will drag it here. If we just apply, we can see the change, how it got changed. We can click on OK. If you are okay with this, we can click, and it is not here. There are no borders getting displayed. So again, what we can do is we can select the cells that we require, right click, format cell, border. We will have a plain border. It is color is very grayish, so that's why we're not able to see. We will put the color as black, and we will have the four sides border, and we will apply. If you see here now, it is little bit clear, like these are the headers and this is the data. Other than before, previously we have this as a little bit different color, but it is not properly visible. Some cream color shade is there, but it is not visually appealing. So for that purpose, what we can do is we can create like this, and based on our company's color requirement and their standard formatting requirements, we can keep which color they want. And sometimes if we have any images, also we can insert the image as logo here. If you see here, this is the table header. So if you keep this report one name in this table header, in the report header, so it will be getting displayed in every page. So that is about different types of tables, how we can copy paste them, how we can turn that, what are the different types of tables, how we can change the properties of the tables. So everything is there. And this is the section that I have shown you in the PPT. So here we have several options. So this is the first one is document summary. If you click on document summary, it will give all the information about document, like who is the author, with which username we have created, and when is this creation date. Today only we have created, so August 14, 2022. What is the locale, what is the when it got refreshed, last refresh date, when it was last refreshed, last modified, when it was last modified, and who has last modified it. So everything related to the document history we can see in the document summary page. And the second one is report map. If we have only one report, so it is showing new document report one. If we have multiple reports, it will show report 1, report 2, and all. The structure will be displayed. This is for input controls. It is also one kind of filters which we will cover in the future. If there are anything applied, it will be shown here. This is for web intelligence services if we have anything. Got stuck. And this is for available objects. This is a document structure. This is for shared elements. This is for comments. These are the new features available in the got available in the new version in the 4.2. Shared elements, if you create something as a shared element, that can be used in other reports also. Comments are also like if some person is doing analysis, they can mention some comments. We don't use this much, but we have these options. So I think I clicked on this one and it is taking a long time. Okay. Yeah, today we have covered like the complete toolbar, how it looks, what are the options, and these report tables, types of tables, how we can play with the tables.